It's my birthday today. You're mine for the night, yeah? The line dropped out of nowhere mid-dinner, spoken by her fiancé's female best bro. Her tone was perfectly casual, like she was commenting on the weather. The only odd thing? She'd said it in Italian. Wash up and wait for me. Her fiancé replied in the same even tone. Clara's fork clattered to the floor. She blinked up at Liam, confused. What did you two just say? I didn't catch a word of it. It wasn't that she couldn't understand Italian. She just couldn't wrap her head around what they'd meant. Was it what she thought it was? Clara, that was just our hometown dialect. It's totally normal you didn't get it. Liam brushed a hand over the top of her head, his eyes soft with what looked like genuine affection. Vanny was just asking if there's an after-party tonight. She wants to come karaoke with us. All night. You wanna go? You haven't been feeling great these past couple days. Staying up all night won't do you any good. She was on her period, and Liam always remembered. He'd make her hot honey lemon tea and warm herbal tea, fuss over her getting cold, panic at the first sign of bad cramps. A guy like that. She'd truly believed he was as faithful as he claimed to be. Come on, Liam, I already booked the hotel. You're not bailing just 'cause Clara's on her period, right? It's my birthday. You're all mine tonight. Vanessa kept going in Italian, her voice playful and cajoling. You said once that no matter who you married, I'd always be your most important best bro. You didn't forget that, did you? Ice shot through Clara's veins. Her blood felt like it had turned to slush. Since when did best bro mean that? They'd never acted overly affectionate around her before. She'd actually bought the whole just friends act. I think I'll pass. She pulled her head away from his hand. I don't feel well. I'm gonna head home and rest. Liam drove her home, made her a mug of hot honey lemon tea, watched her drink it, tucked her into bed, then hurried out the door. His phone had been buzzing non-stop the whole time. The second he left, Clara called her ride-or-die best friend. Come over and sleep with me. Bring your boyfriend. Holy hell, Clara. You got a fever or something? You want us both to crash at your place? Damn. You coming or not? If you're my best friend, you'll get over here and keep me warm. Jasper showed up half an hour later, with his boyfriend Aaron in tow, a soft, puppy-like kid with a sweet disposition. She told him everything that had happened that night. What a piece of shit. Never heard of a female best bro who books hotel rooms with her bro. Jasper stripped down to his boxers and flopped into bed between Clara and Aaron. Back in the day, it had been the three of them, their ride-or-die trio. Now their third friend was living abroad, so Clara was stuck using Jasper to soak up all her bad feelings. Lucky for her, his boyfriend was quiet and totally chill about the whole thing. When Liam got home the next morning, he walked in to find Clara, Jasper, and Aaron all curled up in the same bed. Clara? What is this? His voice cracked, like he was this close to crying, the corners of his eyes red. How could you sleep in the same bed as them behind my back? Jasper rolled his eyes, swung his legs over the bed, pulled on his clothes, and headed for the bathroom. Aaron got dressed too, hovering nearby like he was ready to step in if Liam tried to start something. Clara stretched lazily, then asked him in Italian, "Sleep well at the hotel last night?" A dozen emotions flickered across his face before he settled on shock. You speak Italian? Are Clara's fluent in 16 languages? Jasper poked his head out of the bathroom, wearing that infuriating, shit-eating grin of his. If Liam's company didn't rely so heavily on the Cole family's business, Clara was pretty sure Jasper would already be dead. Right now, Liam was glaring at him like he wanted to tear him apart limb from limb. You sleep in a hotel with your female best bro, I sleep at home with my male best friend. Seems fair to me. Clara tilted her head, smiling sweetly at him. Liam's face turned beet red. That's not the same. It was Vanny's birthday. We've slept in the same bed since we were kids. Nothing happened. I was on my period last night, freezing cold, needed someone to keep me warm. Jasper and I have slept in the same bed since we were kids too. Nothing happened. She threw his own words right back at him. That's different. You're a woman. Your reputation matters. He was grasping at straws now, a vein bulging in his forehead. Oh, so your best bro's reputation doesn't matter? Sucks to be her, then. Does she know you think so little of her? Jasper sauntered out of the bedroom, tossing one last line over his shoulder. Next time your man runs off with another woman, just call us. Best friends are on duty 24/7. Liam slammed his fist against the door. Don't push it. Clara just smiled. If her family didn't still have business ties tied up with his, she wouldn't have wasted her breath arguing with him. 2. Liam laid low for a few days. Then, right in the middle of a company meeting, his phone started blowing up. Clara recognized that ringtone instantly. It was Vanessa, his so-called best bro. Liam, I got into a car accident. Can you come pick me up and take me to the hospital? A woman's wailing voice came through the line, sounding like she was on her deathbed. Liam glanced over at Clara. This is life or death. We grew up together. She's like family. Clara curled her lip in a faint smirk. Go on, then. The second Liam walked out of the office, Clara addressed the whole room. Your boss is too busy taking care of his best bro to work today. So everyone gets a month off. Paid. The room went quiet, everyone exchanging confused glances. It wasn't until they saw Clara grab her bag and walk out the front door that they realized she wasn't joking. Clara called her brother Ethan, told him to cut all ties with the Hale family as fast as possible. This arranged marriage was over. Ethan told her he needed a month. 1 month to pull all their projects out. Clara knew that was the fastest he could manage, and it was gonna cost them a fortune. Then she called Jasper. Where are you? Skiing in Switzerland with my boyfriend. She cursed quietly to herself. Even he had a boyfriend, and here she was with nothing. She booked a flight and flew straight to Switzerland. Jasper and Aaron were stunned when they saw her. They'd thought she was joking. I'm here to join you guys. With me around, you can post all the PDA you want on Instagram and no one will bat an eye. They both laughed at that. As the heir to the Cole family fortune, Jasper could never come out to his parents. He'd never been able to post a single photo of him and Aaron together publicly. With Clara there as a decoy, Jasper posted non-stop. To keep things low-key, Clara was always in the frame whenever he and Aaron stood side by side, pinching his cheek, yanking his hair, sometimes wrapping her arms around both of them. Anyone scrolling through would have thought she was some man-eater dating 2 guys at once. A week later, a tall, imposing man showed up in Switzerland and herded all 3 of them onto the Pierce family's private jet. Clara blinked innocently at Jasper. What the hell is going on? Jasper just waggled his eyebrows. She had zero clue what he was on about. She looked back at the man. Even as a corporate veteran with years of boardroom experience, she felt a flicker of intimidation. His presence was sharp, unyielding. Could this be Sebastian Pierce? The head of the Pierce family? Aaron's older brother? That didn't make sense. From what Jasper had said, the guy never paid Aaron any mind. Aaron was basically a nobody in the Pierce family. When they landed in New York City, Liam was waiting for them right by the gate. "Clara, why'd you take off without saying a word?" Clara blinked. "I told everyone. A month's vacation." Liam nodded at Sebastian. "Thank you, Mr. Pierce, for bringing my fiancé back." Clara's brain went completely blank. Since when did Liam know Sebastian Pierce? Sebastian gave a short nod, then left with Jasper and Aaron in tow. "Don't tell me you're mad 'cause I went to take care of Vanny? I told you, it was life or death." His voice was sharp with anger. "Running around with other men like this? You've made a fool out of me." On his screen was a photo of her with her arms wrapped around both Jasper and Aaron. It looked wildly intimate. Clara studied the photo with satisfaction. "Not bad. I'll have Jasper send it to me later. Gonna frame it and put it up in my office." "Clara." Liam grabbed her wrist. "Are you even listening to me? Do you have any idea how embarrassing this is? Oh, this is life or death for me too. If I didn't get out and have fun, I'd go crazy. That's a life right there. My life matters too." "You're being ridiculous." He was seething, but Clara didn't give a damn anymore. "What about me?" she asked lightly. "Running around with another woman? Where does that leave my reputation? She's my best bro, not some other woman. We've been thick as thieves since we were kids. Why are you being so unreasonable?" He was yelling now, his face bright red. He started dragging her toward the exit. Clara let herself be pulled, yelling over her shoulder, "He's my best friend, not some random guy. We've been attached at the hip since we were kids. You're the one being irrational." Ever since she'd found out what a piece of shit he was, her whole goal had been to make him so mad he couldn't focus on work. That way, Ethan could pull all their projects without a hitch. Watching him this close to snapping? It felt good. Cathartic. When they reached the parking lot, Vanessa was sitting in the passenger seat. She smiled and waved at Clara. "Hey, Clara. I get carsick. You don't mind me riding up front, do you?" "Why would I mind? If we crash, you're the first one to die. You'd be taking the hit for me. I should be thanking you." Clara grumbled as she climbed into the back, plopping right in the middle like she was terrified of getting hit if they got into an accident. Vanessa went pale at that, glancing helplessly at Liam. "Clara, have I been too easy on you?" "Fine. You can stay home and reflect on your behavior for a while. Take a break from work." Clara rolled her eyes internally. She'd only started working at his company because she thought they'd get married. Now that the wedding was off, why would she care? She could just go work at her family's company. Way better. The second Ethan said everything was settled, she was dumping him for good. Vanessa turned around, smirking triumphantly at her. Clara held up 2 fingers and made a clawing motion toward her own eyes. Vanessa yelped. Pathetic. Liam kept one hand on the wheel, reaching over with the other to soothe her, telling her not to be scared, that he was a safe driver. Clara posted all the photos Jasper had sent her to Instagram, with a caption, "Gotta love your best friend, sleepovers, adventures, all around essential." Vanessa spoke again, her voice small and wobbly in the quiet car. "Clara, how could you?" Liam slammed on the brakes instantly. The car behind them honked and someone yelled out the window, "Asshole." Clara mentally gave them a high five. He was an asshole. Slamming on brakes in the middle of the road? If a semi had been behind them, they'd all be dead. After getting yelled at, Liam realized how reckless he'd been. He pulled over to the side of the road, his voice soft and gentle. "Vanny, what's wrong? Still having flashbacks from the accident?" He rested his hand on top of her head, his gaze so tender you'd think she was the most precious thing in the world. Clara snapped a photo before he could notice. She posted it to Instagram with the caption, "Fiancé comforting his best bro. Feeling kinda third wheel right now. Send help." She tagged the location too. Vanessa glanced at Clara, like she wanted to say something but thought better of it. "Go on," Liam said. "Don't worry about her." Is Clara sleeping with her best friend?" Her voice was soft, gentle, tentative, but in the closed confines of the car, Liam heard every word. Liam's face darkened instantly. He went back to driving, silent the whole rest of the way. Vanessa's frustration simmered when he didn't react, but she had no choice but to stay quiet. 3. Liam dropped Clara off first, then said he'd drive Vanessa home. This had happened 100 times before. He always said she was his best bro, that looking out for her was just what you did for family. But tonight, after her little provocation had failed, the look Vanessa gave Clara before leaving said she was already plotting her next move. Clara called Jasper. Told him to have someone follow the two of them. When the time was right, she was gonna make their night a living hell. They'd hidden behind the best bro act for so long. Now that she knew the truth, there was no way she was gonna let them get away with it. Jasper moved faster than he ever had. Texts kept popping up on Clara's phone. They're at a bar drinking. They're hugging. They're full-on making out. Each message came with a video clip. From the footage, Liam was blackout drunk. Vanessa, on the other hand, looked perfectly sober. This woman was interesting. Most mistresses would sneak around and taunt the wife, send little hints to get under her skin. Vanessa had never done any of that. No weird Instagram posts, no subtle messages. If Clara didn't speak Italian, she might never have found out about their affair. Less than an hour later, Jasper sent video of them checking into a hotel room. Clara threw off the covers and got out of bed immediately. She told Jasper to come pick her up. She wanted proof firsthand. When she got downstairs and climbed into the car, she realized it was Sebastian behind the wheel. "Where to?" His voice was flat, no emotion to read. Clara reached for the door handle. "It's fine, Mr. Pierce. I can get there myself." She had one foot out the door when the locks clicked shut. "Jasper's with my brother. Aaron has a fever." Clara stared at him, speechless. "Really, it's fine. I can go alone. He said you'd probably cry if you went by yourself." Clara was 100% sure Jasper had set her up. She hadn't cried since kindergarten. She gave him the hotel address. On the way in, she stopped at the convenience store in the lobby and bought a few boxes of condoms. Sebastian watched her do it, his face completely impassive. Inside the hotel, she marched straight for Liam and Vanessa's room. Only when she got to the door did she remember why she'd asked Jasper to come. His family owned the hotel. He was supposed to get them a key. She was weighing whether to just kick the door down when a hand with long, knuckly fingers tapped a keycard against the lock. The green light flashed, and the door clicked open. Clara stared at Sebastian, stunned. He held out the keycard to her, calm as anything. "Jasper gave it to me. Said you'd need it." The second the door swung open, sounds spilled out into the hallway. Clara's attention snapped to them. She grabbed the keycard from Sebastian and slipped inside the suite. They were locked in a frantic kiss, hands roaming, already halfway to the next step. Clara snapped several quick photos, slipped her phone back into her pocket, then spoke in a perfectly calm voice. "Hold on a second." Her voice cut right through the moment. Vanessa looked like she'd seen a ghost, but she didn't pull away. Then a strange, smug smile tugged at her lips. Liam, on the other hand, sobered up instantly. He shoved Vanessa away. "Clara? What are you doing here?" He rubbed his temples, trying to force himself fully awake. Clara tossed the boxes of condoms onto the bed, the bright packaging scattered across the white sheets. "Brought you supplies. Can't have my best bro getting pregnant, right?" With that, she turned, grabbed Sebastian's arm, and marched out of the hotel. "You brought your fiancé condoms?" Sebastian sounded genuinely shocked. It was the first time Clara had ever seen anything other than a blank, poker-faced expression on him. "Yep. Photos for evidence." When it came time to break off the engagement, he wouldn't be able to talk his way out of it. And if she played her cards right, his parents would pay her family hush money to keep the photos from leaking. Worth every penny for the condoms. Liam never came after them. Either he'd given up trying to explain, or Vanessa had talked him into staying. Either way, it wasn't Clara's problem. Jasper had someone snap photos of the used wrappers afterward. All 3 boxes were empty. Clara had heard guys were usually pretty quick their first time, so this meant they'd been sleeping together for who knew how long. The thought made her gag. Thank God her mom had always told her to wait. It wasn't the old days, she'd say, but your first time should be with someone worth it. Her and Liam had been an arranged marriage set up, engagement first, dating second. He'd always been so thoughtful, so attentive. She'd actually thought she'd found something real. Turns out he was just another cheating man whore. The worst part was what it'd do to Ethan. He'd funneled several big projects to the Hales to make sure Clara was well taken care of once she married. Pulling out now was gonna cost them a fortune. 4. Liam showed up at the house early the next morning. He cornered her by the front door. "Clara, about last night, I can explain." "Explain what?" "Why you went through 3 boxes of condoms. Or how many times you slept with her." A flicker of guilt crossed his face, gone just as fast. "I was drunk last night." "It's not what you think." He reached for her hand. She pulled away. "And don't try to tell me you didn't use them. You know why I bought them myself? I marked every box. Didn't want you lying to my face like I'm some idiot." She sent him the photos. "We split the cost of this house 50-50. Let's sell it. Soon as possible." She turned to leave. This time, he didn't care if she wanted him to or not. He wrapped his arms around her tight, holding her in place. "We're just friends. We're never gonna get married. And you slept with your best friend, didn't you? I forgave you for that. Why can't you let this one little mistake go? Breaking things off will be bad for both our families. Next arranged marriage you get, you might not find someone who loves you as much as I do." Clara bit down hard on his arm. Even through the suit jacket, she knew she'd broken skin. He grunted in pain, but he didn't let go. Fucking hell. She took a deep breath, then slammed the back of her head into his nose. A warm trickle of blood dripped down the back of her neck. He let go, clutching his nose, and doubled over. What is wrong with you? Vanny's not gonna take your place. You're the one who's gonna be my wife. She's just my best bro. We've been like this since we were kids. We don't even see each other as, like, gendered. That line made her actually feel sick to her stomach. Don't see each other as gendered? Yeah, right. People who don't see each other that way don't go through 3 boxes of condoms in one night. Why didn't he go shack up with a guy, then? Clara wiped the blood off her neck with a tissue and walked out of the house without looking back. She'd planned to stay until Ethan had everything sorted. Now she couldn't stand to be there another minute. God, that was the most disgusting thing she'd ever heard. We don't see gender, so it's okay to sleep together? Bullshit. She told Jasper to dig up everything he could on Vanessa. There was something off about that woman. 5. That afternoon, Clara waited for Jasper in a private dining room at an upscale bistro. The person who walked in was Sebastian. Whoa. Wasn't this guy supposed to be swamped? The guy who didn't even have time to care that his little brother had a boyfriend? Why was he suddenly everywhere? Mr. Pierce. She glanced past him. No Jasper, no Aaron. They went out together. Clara muttered a curse at Jasper in her head. Of course he'd ditch her for his boyfriend. He used to drop everything for her. Anytime, anywhere. She grabbed her phone to text him and demand answers, when a stack of photos slid across the table toward her. Everything you asked for. Clara flipped through the photos. Vanessa had a whole lot of best bros, that was for sure. And she was already married. The wedding date was the day before Liam had agreed to their engagement. Her husband was just as successful as Liam, impressive in every way. He worked constantly, was never around. And Vanessa had a condition, sex addiction. Her husband used to have a thing for my brother. Sebastian picked up his fork, taking a calm, elegant bite of food as he dropped the bomb. Even if he liked women, he'd never have time to keep up with her. Clara's skin crawled. Was this really a conversation they were having? Relative strangers, talking about someone's sex addiction? Your fiancé's a convenient fix for her. She used to care about her husband, but once she found out he was gay, she started feeling more for your fiancé than just a quick fix. Clara kept her head down, focusing on her food. Your fiancé has no idea she's married. His tone stayed perfectly even. Her husband just lets her do this? Her husband's business is overseas. Scandal here doesn't touch his bottom line. He just needs a wife on paper. A respectable front. His flat, matter-of-fact tone hit Clara like a lightning bolt. Wait a second. She wasn't the biggest loser here. Liam was. He was basically nothing to Vanessa. Just a toy. Then again, if he'd kept it in his pants, none of this would have happened. He deserved every bit of it. 6. Ethan called her early to say they were clear to break off the engagement. Clara knew he'd taken a huge loss. She didn't want their parents to worry, so she and Ethan went to the Hale residence alone to handle it. Mr. and Mrs. Hale were stunned when they heard the news. They called Clara's parents overseas right there on the spot. Clara, are you really sure you want to call off the engagement? Her mom sounded shocked. Just last video call, Clara had been talking about how happy she was with Liam. He slept with another woman. For all I know, he's got a secret kid on the way. Her mom's voice turned sharp instantly. Then it's off. No question. Clara slammed the photos of Liam and Vanessa down on the table. If you don't want these getting out, you'll sign over 5% of Hale Corp to my brother. Compensation for his losses. When Liam walked in, a dozen emotions flashed across his face: shock, anger, desperation. Vanny and I, nothing happened between us. Clara nodded at the photos scattered across the table. Maybe look at those first. Then lie to me. He glanced down, then collapsed onto the couch, all the fight gone out of him. Where did you get these? Sebastian had given them to her, of course. But she'd only handed over the photos of Liam and Vanessa. She'd held the rest back. She wasn't gonna tell him Vanessa was married. Wasn't gonna tell him the only reason Vanessa gave him the time of day was because her husband was gay. Mr. and Mrs. Hale exchanged a look, then sighed. Fine. 5%. And this stays between us. If word gets out, it won't be from us. Clara cut him off. This isn't hush money. It's compensation for my brother's losses over the past 2 years. 7. Clara saw Vanessa again a month after the engagement was broken off. She was walking out of the Bennett Enterprises building when Vanessa stepped in front of her. With no way to avoid her, Clara led her to a cafe nearby and sat down at a table by the window. Why did you break up with him? Liam's a pretty great catch, all things considered. For all her best bro act with Liam, Vanessa had always carried herself like a poised, refined woman. She always wore elegant, classic dresses, soft and put together. If Clara hadn't heard her with her own 2 ears, she never would have believed this was the woman seducing other women's fiancés. Is that all you wanted to ask? Clara stirred her coffee slowly. Don't tell me you're planning to divorce your husband and marry Liam. Her spoon clattered into her coffee cup. Clara acted like she hadn't noticed, going on like nothing was wrong. I don't go picking up other people's trash. You leave me alone, and I'll pretend none of this ever happened. Vanessa had never come after her directly, never taunted her. At the end of the day, there was no real bad blood between them. It wasn't that Clara was being nice by not telling Liam. She just wanted to see the look on his face when he found out on his own that his perfect, beloved best bro wasn't anything like he thought. The reveal would be so much sweeter if he uncovered it himself. 8. Vanessa and Liam got married. She and her husband had gotten married overseas, so her local marital registration records still said single. The Bennetts and the Hales were longtime family allies. When Liam got married, they had to go. Her parents still hadn't come back to the States. People like that weren't worth the trip. Clara walked in on her brother's arm. Liam was beaming. His smile was more genuine than it had ever been during their engagement. He didn't take his eyes off Vanessa the entire ceremony. Mr. and Mrs. Hale looked pleased too. Word was Vanessa had brought a multi-million-dollar personal trust fund into the marriage. You look disappointed. Clara snapped out of her daze at the familiar voice. It was Sebastian. Little bit. She watched the happy couple. He gets to have this perfect, happy wedding? Kinda makes me wanna cause trouble. He won't be happy for long. With that, Sebastian walked back to his table. Jasper jogged over to her. Clara, you good? Aaron says his brother's been acting weird lately. You should stay away from him. Clara nodded. She'd never gotten close to Sebastian in the first place. Staying away wasn't gonna be hard. 9. Sebastian hadn't been kidding about a few days. 3 days after the wedding, a video of Vanessa in a hotel room with another guy popped up in the Elite Heirs group chat. Liam was out of the country on a business trip. The group chat was blowing up. Clara watched the video. The guy was one of Vanessa's bros, one of Liam's friends too. Everyone in the chat was speculating about whether Liam would lose his mind when he saw it. Clara pulled up her old text thread with Liam and tagged everyone in the group. She sent screenshots of her confronting him about the hotel room with Vanessa. His reply, "We're just friends handling some stuff. You only see dirt 'cause your mind's in the gutter." She added a message, "Don't worry, Liam's mind isn't in the gutter. He'll totally believe her." The chat went quiet for a minute, then everyone started spamming fire emojis. After a flood of reactions, Liam finally popped into the chat. "I trust Vanny. They just got a room to play games. That's all." If he hadn't said anything, Clara might have believed he actually trusted her. But the overkill explanation? Total admission of guilt. Liam flew home early, business deal half finished. Ethan swooped in and poached the client right out from under him. By the time he'd hashed things out with Vanessa and flew back overseas, Ethan had already signed the contract. And just when he thought it couldn't get worse, no sooner had he left the country again than another video leaked, Vanessa with a different bro, in another hotel room. Watching it, Clara thought back to what Sebastian had said. Had he been behind this? There was no way every single hotel hookup got caught on camera by accident. Vanessa wasn't careless. She'd gotten away with this for years. Clara shot Sebastian a tentative text. "The Vanessa stuff. Was that you? Good for business." His reply was short. Clara called Ethan to get the full story. Turns out Liam had gone over to renew several big contracts, old connections from his dad's days. Everyone had thought it'd be a smooth trip. No one expected him to bolt halfway through. The Pierce group had snapped up the biggest accounts. Ethan had picked up what was left. Clara hung up, a strange feeling nagging at her. She couldn't put her finger on what it was, but something was off. 10. The media picked up the Vanessa scandal. Hale Corp's stock started to tank. Clara knew if word got out that Vanessa had already been married when she wed Liam, the stock would be worthless. She texted Ethan to sell their shares. He texted back saying he already had. And that he'd make sure she got justice, that she just had to take care of herself. Clara went back to work, taking things one day at a time. One day, a bouquet of white roses showed up on her desk. "Ms. Bennett, these just got delivered." Her secretary looked nervous. "Should I put them in a vase, or throw them away?" Clara didn't hesitate. The only person who'd sent her white roses was Liam. She'd only ever told him that she loved white roses, that they felt like pure, honest love. Her secretary took the flowers away. A second later, a text from Liam popped up on her phone. "Clara, did you get my flowers?" Clara ignored it. When she left work that evening, he was waiting for her by the building entrance. Like husband, like wife. Vanessa had cornered her like this once. Now he was doing the exact same thing. They ended up at the same cafe as before. "Spit it out. What do you want?" It had been a month and a half since she'd called off their engagement. A month since he'd married Vanessa. "Clara, I made a mistake. I never should have married Vanny just to get back at you." Now that she got a good look at him, he had dark circles under his eyes, like he hadn't slept in weeks. Or maybe Vanessa needed him every single night, and he was running on fumes between work and keeping her satisfied. Either way, looking at how drained he was, Clara felt a petty little spark of joy. When he saw her smile, he took it as a sign she still cared. "I'll divorce her. We'll get married. I'll never see her again, I swear." Clara tapped the edge of her coffee cup with her spoon. "But I thought you two were best bros." "Best bros stick together forever. Like me and Jasper, best friends for life." Though obviously she'd never marry her best friend. He opened his mouth, a bitter smile tugging at his lips. "Can't you just cut him out? For me?" "No way. A best friend who keeps you warm at night is way more reliable than a man." She paused, then added, "Besides, he comes with a cute puppy boyfriend. Real good in bed, from what I hear." Liam's fingers twitched at the word bed. Guess his wife's appetite was so insatiable he couldn't even hear the word without panicking. A mischievous thought popped into her head. "I used to think it had to be just two people, but honestly? The five of us could make it work. All sleep together, big party, everyone's happy." He looked like she'd slapped him. He stood up and stormed out without another word. Clara shook her head, clicking her tongue. That fragile, and he thought he could grovel his way back to her? Delusional. There was no grand redemption arc here. Just a dead end for his groveling. That's an interesting take. Clara was mid-fantasy about making Liam's life a living hell when she heard the voice. It sent a shiver down her spine. "Mr. Pierce." She put on her polite, professional smile. "Fancy running into you here. Waiting for your ex-fiancé to come crawling back?" He sat down across from her without being invited. "Please. If he tries to crawl back, I'll twist his head off." Clara had grown up knowing she'd have an arranged marriage. It wasn't like she'd ever expected some grand love story. Watching Liam suffer was fun, but eventually Ethan would find her a decent match. Turned out her parents had terrible taste in men, though. That got a laugh out of him. A low, quiet chuckle, quiet enough not to bother the other patrons. "I heard your brother's looking for a new fiancé for you." He brushed a finger lightly over the watch on his wrist, then held her gaze, steady and unblinking. Clara didn't look away. Getting married was just normal. Part of the deal. Probably. I'd trust his judgment. Her casual indifference seemed to puzzle him. "I thought girls your age wanted to marry for love. Haven't met anyone worth falling for yet." She'd grown up watching people fall in love, and almost none of them had happy endings. The deeper the love at the start, the worse it hurt when it fell apart. She'd let herself have a tiny bit of hope with Liam, and look how that had turned out. "What are you looking for in a husband?" Clara eyed him suspiciously. He wasn't about to set her up with his brother, was he? The guy was gay. "I don't believe in breaking up happy couples. And for the record, I still like men. For now." Wow, low bar. A hand clapped her on the shoulder. She turned around. It was her brother. "Ethan? What are you doing here?" Her brother sat down next to Sebastian, giving her a long, assessing look. "My sister's beautiful, smart, good at everything. I'm not just gonna marry her off to any random guy." Watching them sit so close together, a ridiculous thought popped into Clara's head. "Wait a second. You're not gay too, are you?" She glanced at Sebastian. Into him, or something. The second the words left her mouth, her usually unflappable brother spit his water all over the table. I heard Liam was here looking for you. I was scared you'd cave, so I rushed over. He shot Sebastian an apologetic look. He came over and put an arm around her shoulders. Come on, what do you think of Mr. Pierce? 6'2", abs, great face, super responsible. Only 6 years older than you. Clara thought about what Jasper had said, stay away from his brother. Can we pick someone else? She asked weakly. Across the table, Sebastian started coughing, like he'd choked on his coffee. Ethan said goodbye to Sebastian and pulled Clara toward the door, heading home. 11. They sat across from each other in the living room back home. Honestly, I never considered Sebastian before. 'Cause I didn't think he'd go for you. Classic Ethan. So blunt Clara didn't even know how to respond. She just sat there and took it. When he flew out to Switzerland, I thought he was just picking up his brother. But then I found out he's never lifted a finger for Aaron before. Not once in all these years. When you called Jasper to go to the hotel with you, Sebastian locked him up at the Pierce house, grabbed the keycard, and went to find you instead. And then you proceeded to hand your fiancé condoms. When you asked Jasper to dig up dirt on Vanessa? Sebastian was the one who found all that info. He's the one who brought it to you. After Liam and Vanessa got married? Every single hotel leak? He had someone take those photos. All to make you happy. Clara's brain short-circuited. She barely knew Sebastian. Why would he do all that for her? Ethan. How do you even know all this? The only reason I poached those Hale Corp accounts overseas was because Sebastian's people tipped me off. He didn't answer her question directly, just kept going. I've been in this business a long time. Guys who talk big and do nothing are the worst. The guys who quietly look out for you, behind the scenes? Those are the ones you can count on. But Ethan. I don't even know him. Ethan adjusted his glasses, giving her a long, complicated look. You really don't remember him? Clara shook her head hard. When would she have met him? I only found out 'cause I got his best friend drunk and he spilled. Back when Jasper and Aaron first got together, Sebastian was totally against it. He showed up at a bar to drag Aaron home. And you were there, drunk off your ass. You threw yourself at him, wouldn't let go, and you kissed him. A fuzzy memory surfaced. They'd been 18. Jasper had brought his new boyfriend to meet her, and the three of them had gotten absolutely wasted. Some guy had stormed in, trying to yank Jasper's boyfriend away. And Clara had launched herself right at him. Whoa, you're so pretty. How can someone this pretty want to break up two people in love? She hadn't waited for a response. She'd grabbed his face and kissed him, hard. Love is great. You just haven't found the right person yet, right? Come on, let him be. Please? She'd totally tried to seduce him, all for her best friend. She'd been ready to do whatever it took. And in the end, the guy had just stormed off, scowling, and left Aaron alone. She'd been so drunk, and the other two had blacked out too. She'd always thought it was some weird, drunken hallucination. Turns out it was real. And the guy? It had been Sebastian Pierce. The head of the entire Pierce family. From the way all the blood drained from her face, Ethan could tell she remembered now. That it had really happened. I was so drunk. You know how Jasper is like family to me. I couldn't just stand there and let him be miserable. Even wasted out of their minds, Jasper and Aaron had clung to each other like their lives depended on it. 12. Clara got engaged to Sebastian. Ethan had given her two unarguable reasons. 1. He was the most reliable man Ethan had ever met. 2. She'd stolen his first kiss. She had to take responsibility. Ethan had always said she could marry for love if she wanted. But Clara had grown up seeing how the world worked. Money was reliable. It never cheated on you, never left. Men did. When the news got out, Jasper lost his mind. He texted her to meet him at their usual bar. Clara, come on, pick literally anyone else. The guy's a total robot. How are you gonna live with that? And if he's mean to you? I can't take him in a fight. Not even close. He sounded like a stressed-out mom worried her kid was making a huge mistake. Clara told him about the kiss, about what had happened when they were 18. This is all my fault. He sounded like he was about to cry, all dramatic. My brother's a good guy. Responsible, takes care of people. You'll be happy with him. Aaron's voice cut through Jasper's fake sobbing, stopping him mid-sniffle. Jasper grabbed Aaron's face, squishing his cheeks. Did he threaten you? Blink twice if you're being held hostage, Ronnie. Clara rubbed her temples, exhausted. You're squishing his face so hard he can't blink. Jasper let go, blowing gently on Aaron's pink cheeks. I'm sorry, Ronnie. Did I hurt you? He was being so tender Clara had to look away. Too much secondhand embarrassment. My brother's just hard on me 'cause I'm his little brother. He'll be good to Clara. I know it. Aaron said it with complete, earnest certainty. Jasper sighed, long and heavy. Clara knew he was blaming himself. If he hadn't snuck Aaron out that night, none of this would have happened. Oh, relax. He's the richest guy in New York. I'll never have to worry about money ever again. She gave Jasper a hard whack on the back of the head. Back when it was just the three of them, he'd always been the crier. Now he had a boyfriend, and he was still the biggest crybaby of the bunch. 13. After Jasper and Aaron left, Clara ran into Liam. He was alone, his clothes rumpled, his usually perfectly styled hair greasy and unkempt. Looked like he hadn't showered in days. Clara. Is it true? You're marrying Sebastian next month? He reached for her, then dropped his hand halfway, like he didn't dare touch her. There was a bright red lipstick stain on his sleeve. Busy night, Mr. Hale. Clara's voice dripped with sarcasm. You could have at least changed clothes first. What, you came here to rub your happy marriage in my face? She waved a hand in front of her nose, stepping back with a look of disgust. Your wife's perfume is way too strong. He hid his arm behind his back, the smile slipping from his face, inch by inch. Then he seemed to catch himself and forced a grin back into place. Looking at him, Clara suddenly wanted to laugh. So she did. He watched her smile for a long moment before he spoke. You really gonna marry him? Sebastian Pierce? He's dangerous. Unreadable. You'll never be able to control him. He said it like he was warning her, like he cared. Clara just laughed again, then stepped around him and headed for the door. Clara, I'm serious. You can't control him. He's sharp, ruthless, doesn't hesitate. You'll get hurt. Bad. You won't even see it coming. Clara didn't answer. She walked out of the bar without looking back. Men were never something women could control. The only thing that mattered was whether a man could control himself. She'd never met a single man who stayed faithful because his woman controlled him. Loyalty was a choice. His choice. 14. Wedding plans for Clara and Sebastian moved forward on schedule. Meanwhile, the group chat was full of non-stop drama about Liam and Vanessa. Liam had stormed a hotel room to catch Vanessa cheating, then gotten into a fistfight with the guy, one of his own friends. While Liam was busy fighting, Vanessa had left and gone to another hotel with another one of their friends. Mid-fight, someone told Liam where she'd gone. He'd raced to the second hotel, and the whole thing started all over again. Everyone had figured Liam would be the one to file for divorce. But in the video from the scene, Vanessa was the one who said she wanted out. "If you can't handle my friends, then we should just get divorced." Everyone who'd bet on the divorce groaned. They'd started a pool over who'd ask first. Clara had bet on Vanessa. Almost everyone else had bet on Liam. Who could stand their wife sleeping around with half their friend group? But Clara had known Liam would never be the one to end it. She'd seen how he handled things back when it was the three of them. The guy was a coward. He'd run to her, whining about how he wanted to leave Vanessa, but all he ever did was run around catching her cheating. People who actually wanted a divorce didn't waste time on stakeouts. Clara won $500,000 on that bet. Then she got a text from Liam. "How'd you know I wouldn't ask for a divorce? Just say the word, and I'll leave Vanny right now. We can be together again. Thanks for the 500 grand, Mr. Hale. Keep it up, and I'll make $1 million off you yet." She hit block and tossed her phone aside. Guy was delusional if he thought she'd ever take him back. Then an unknown number called. Clara almost declined, then decided to answer. "Clara, don't hang up. Let me explain. Vanny's sick. She needs this, needs men. I was just helping her. I can't divorce her right now. If I do, the stock will crash." He rambled it all out in one breath. Clara hung up and blocked that number too. Thank God she'd found out the truth when she did. Imagine being married to a guy who thought his job was to be some other woman's personal fix. And if she'd complained? Everyone would have called her selfish, unkind, like she was letting a sick person suffer. 15. Clara married Sebastian. Standing at the altar, she felt surprisingly calm. The only awkward part was thinking about how she'd kissed him that night, all those years ago. Other than that, it felt right. The officiant turned to Sebastian. "Groom, do you promise to love her, comfort her, honor and keep her, in sickness and in health, for richer for poorer, for better for worse, and forsaking all others, be faithful to her as long as you both shall live?" Clara zoned out for a second. Would he mean it when he said "I do"? Was any of this real? When Sebastian said "I do," his voice was steady, sure. Then it was her turn. She repeated the vows back, her eyes locked on his. Dark, deep, focused entirely on her. For a second, she could have sworn there was nothing else in the room. "I do." If he kept his vows, if he was true to her, she'd do the same. He pulled her into his arms. This time, he kissed her first. Clara's face burned bright red. He held her for a long moment before pulling away. When she glanced out at the guests, she saw Liam. His eyes were red and bloodshot, staring up at them like she'd broken his heart. Vanessa sat next to him, calm and composed, like nothing was wrong. 16. After the ceremony, Vanessa found Clara alone. "I'm leaving," She stared off into the distance, like she was looking back at something long gone. I got married overseas. He's amazing. So amazing I was willing to try to control this thing, for him. But he's gay. And I lost my mind over it. She ran a finger over Clara's wedding dress, her eyes soft with envy. I used to dream about marrying him. But he never wanted that with me. He had a big, romantic wedding. With another man. The random, out-of-the-blue comment made a thought click in Clara's head. He asked you to come back, didn't he? The man needed a wife on paper. And Vanessa loved him so much she'd do anything. She was perfect for the job. I'm going back tomorrow. Back to being his wife. He said I can sleep with whoever I want. Just not him. Her voice was hollow, empty with loneliness. Clara didn't think she'd ever understand love. Not this kind, anyway. I felt bad, you know? For stealing your fiancé. But seeing him now, looking at you like you're the whole world? I get it. I wanted a wedding. Liam gave me that. He looks at me like that? Clara asked, quiet and confused. Yeah. You can't hide love. Not really. I hope you're happy. Truly. 17. After the wedding, Clara finally understood what everyone meant when they talked about Sebastian's way of loving. Their new house, every detail, from the big renovations down to the smallest decor, was exactly her taste. Perfect, down to the last thing. The flowers in the yard were all her favorite kinds, planted exactly how she liked them. Even the pool was built from a design she'd made back in college. A one-of-a-kind layout, nowhere else in the world like it. It didn't feel creepy, like he'd been spying on her. It just felt warm. Like he'd paid attention. Like he cared. When Jasper and Aaron came over for the first time, they were blown away. Clara. This guy has been obsessed with you for years, hasn't he? Jasper wandered all through the house, checking out every room, every corner of the yard. His final verdict? Sebastian was the biggest hopeless romantic of all time. Hey, if I didn't have you as my best friend, I never would have met this guy. If it hadn't been for Liam and his best bro, she never would have crossed paths with Sebastian again. Thinking back on everything, her feelings were complicated. That burning need to make Liam and Vanessa suffer wasn't there anymore. After the wedding, Clara kept working at Bennett Enterprises. Sebastian showed up at her building every single day, without fail, to pick her up. No late nights at the office, no nights out with clients, no coming home at 3 a.m. He was a completely different person from the workaholic who used to sleep in his office. The employees at Pierce Group called her a literal saint. She'd tamed their never-stop CEO. No more mandatory late nights, no more endless overtime. She'd saved them all. Some departments even taped up a photo of the two of them as a good luck charm, praying they'd stay happy forever and that the CEO's romantic streak would never wear off. 18. Clara didn't hear much about Liam after that. The next time she did, 2 years had passed. He'd flown overseas to find Vanessa, demanding to know why she'd left him. He'd betrayed Clara for her, he said. They could have been happy together. He never dared come after Sebastian. He only had the guts to go yell at Vanessa. Turned out Vanessa's husband had been there. He'd pulled out their marriage license and threatened to sue Liam for bigamy. Liam lost Clara, then he lost Vanessa. After that, he fell apart. Wandered around like a ghost. Everyone in the New York social set knew all about his scandal. No wealthy family wanted to arrange a marriage with him. Between Ethan and Sebastian squeezing Hale Corp from every side, the company couldn't keep up. It was collapsing. In the end, Mr. Hale brought his illegitimate son back into the fold and arranged a marriage with a girl from a smaller, less prominent family. Liam was disinherited and cut off from the family entirely. He lost everything. Drank himself stupid every single day. One night, he passed out in the middle of the road, drunk, and got hit by a car. Killed instantly. A guy who'd once had the whole world at his feet was just gone. Sebastian told her Vanessa had fallen into a deep depression after she heard how Liam died. She barely functioned now, just lived off her meds, day by day.